I'm Ellen the Crazy Crafty Lady, here with another awesome video. Today I thought we could put something together that I have that was from a while ago that never got put together, but it was started. So I thought we could hang out and sew this pouch together. It's a 6x13 piece on the interlining, and it was actually a 6x14 pieces on the outer, and then you sew them together to get the 6x13. Now, something that I've had for a while that I never got to finish that I was supposed to do, and I never did. So today I thought we could just finish sewing this awesome little bag together. I have a really cool little button that I added here too as well, that I just attached it by hand and sewed it on. Gives it a nice little fun look. And we have our awesome burgundy colored zipper, which I'm into burgundy zippers lately, and I don't have enough of them or a lot of them anymore. But I thought we could hang out and sew this awesome fun pouch together. So let's get started. This is our lining piece, and we will place that face up on the table, and then we will take our zipper and we will attach some seam tape first. I love seam tape. This is from the Sailrite company. It's the best there is, to me anyways. I don't use nothing but Sailrite seam tape because they have the best. So what we want to do is attach it, not all the way at the end, because then it goes off and then it isn't right, but you can attach it just along the edge. I do use a lot of seam tape because I love it. It's my best friend in the sewing room. All right, and then we will trim off our little end. Sometimes it doesn't like to peel upright, so you have to press it good. And then what we want to do is sticking. There we go. Peel that. And now what we need to do is take our top piece and stick it on straight up. It's kind of like an example of using seam tape to put something together. Okay, it's a little bit wider than that. Let's slide it down some. Or no, actually not this part yet. We got to put our zipper on. Our zipper must go first. Sometimes I like to put the other piece and get a measurement. There we go. Our zipper is perfectly on. And now what we want to do is put another layer of seam tape over the top of that, a little too far at the edge. We don't want it too far to the edge. Just enough that it's going to hold everything in place. So let's do that. And this is sewable seam tape, which is so awesome because you can sew on your sewing machine with this seam tape. And it, for the most part, doesn't stick to your needle. Once in a while, you get a buildup, a little bit, if you're using a lot of it and doing more than a project. But, you know, if you're just doing a couple things, it doesn't, it really works nicely well. And it doesn't affect your machine in any way. And let's press down on that. There we have that. Now what we want to do is go to our sewing machine and we will sew this together. And the seam tape holds it together really well as well. And it's very awesome. And then here's where we want to make a switch. Let me see where my little zipper foot went. Probably back in here. New zipper foot in here. Zipper foot works easier, and then you don't have to worry about it catching this and sewing over the zipper. Let's look in here. There we go. We're gonna do our awesome zipper foot, and we'll show you how easy that is to pop off one foot and put the other foot on. Gotta get our string out of the way. There we go, got that moved. And let's put that up and lift our little button. Sometimes it doesn't wanna. I have a hard time with my hands. Let me try. There we go. Now we can get our presser foot on. There we go. Let's lower this foot down. And now what we want to do is just along that zipper edge. And you can line it right up with your edge. Backspace a couple times. And you don't have to worry about getting in the way of that zipper. Sometimes certain projects I use the other foot, but on the zippering, but it's really smarter to change that foot to do your zipper. Back stitch a couple of times. And there we have, and you can do trimming like this later if you want, or just like that. And there we have, looks fantastic. Now we want to get our other side and attach it to our piece. Let's go back to our table. We will get our other piece going. Looks fantastic. Now what we need is our awesome seam tape again. This is how it cuts off some time when you're trying to sew a zipper on. It takes less time than trying to pin it or clip it, and it really saves you on your videoing. So we're going to there we have that. Press it down. There's that. This is for the top layer of this, but let's first put our layer of seam tape for the other side of the inner lining. We want to do our inside lining first, I think would be really a wise thing to do. There's scissors. Press that down. Peel that up. zipper up on there. And now we can line our outer layer on top of that. Just kind of it may not be perfect, but it's going to be fine. There we go. Now we can go back to our sewing machine. And we will sew this together. Sandwiched all together into a pouch. Move that up a little, press that down. Alright, it's stuck on something. Let's do a back stitch. Let's try this again. There we go. Got that going. What is going to be a really awesome, fun little bag for whatever you want to use it for. Now what we want to do is go to our ironing board. Let's go to the ironing board. I'll take you with me this time. And we will press this out. Just kind of give it a finger pressing first, and then give it a pressing with the iron. Probably not heated up enough for now, but we can let it run over it. It'll take care of it. Okay. Just enough to kind of give it a pressing a little bit. Okay. We want to make sure that it's not going to be over our zipper part, the teeth, when we sew, because that can be deflating too. I've been there. And I've done that. Let's go back to our machine and we will sew these together. All right. Let's give these a nice little edged line. Let me see if I can. All right, we're gonna move that needle over to the edge and just give that a nice little couple of back stitches. And we will, it looks like my thread's pulling along. Let's just do a trim. Okay. pull that underneath a little bit too. Sometimes my foot doesn't want to come off of the thing, and it sews on. Couple of back stitches. Turn it around. The other side here. Let's pull that other inner side out a little bit so that it doesn't go. That looks fantastic. Now what we want to do is just make sure that our zipper opens and closes. This is where we want to do you want your zipper to be open so that when you sew your layers together, you can still get inside for flipping it the right side out. And you do want your zipper to be, it's better to have it facing the lining. Let's go to our table and we will put clips in this thing. Alrighty. Let's turn us around. And let me grab some of my awesome clips and we will clip this thing together. And then we also have to make our boxy corners, so we will do that along the way. All right, let's see. All right, now let's just, having such a rough time with my hands lately, so don't mind me if I'm just having a little trouble. Okay, let's get a clip right here where the zipper where the zipper is. That's not even a piece of the zipper. Woohoo. All right. I'll put that zipper there, that clip rather. Let's put one here. And then we can add some clips too. And here's where we want to leave our opening. You can mark it. I just tend to kind of use the clips. I'm going to put one on each end of this. Like that. And let's see, got two of the same maybe? Maybe I don't right now. Two purple ones. We're going to use the two purple ones just to have a line for where the opening will be. And then That's going to be our opening. We don't need it very much, just enough to fit our hand in there. It should be okay. And we'll add a clip to the end over here. And then here's where we want to play zipper again. Just kind of flip that so that it's kind of facing toward the inner side. And we'll just put a clip in there. Now some of these, it might not be perfectly straight or even right here, but not going to really see that too much. Let me see. I'll have to fix this side a little bit. Just to kind of... Alright. Put that clip back in. And just kind of pull that over a hair. Put a clip in right here on the edge. Sometimes when you put a button in there, it kind of pulls things a little. Let's get a couple of green ones. Now we want to remember the two purple ones are what we're going to use as our opening marking. Okay, let's get a few more. Alright, we got a couple more clips we can use. We'll put another green one in just to be different on this side. Okay, now what we want to do is kind of flip it and look at this side a little bit. Just so that it's the same thing. Maybe we'll add one here, and the last one over here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to sew from here to here, and then we're going to sew from here to here, here to here, here to here, and then here to here. And then we will go back and make our boxy corners. So let's go back to the machine. So let's pull this up a little bit for a minute and take it, get it measured. And we can still use this, or we can use, either way, if you want to continue with your zipper foot, or you can put this foot back on. I'm going to start with the zipper foot and just go around. And then you just turn it and keep going. Let's bypass the hole for now. And you can trim anything you need to trim later. Let's not lose this other foot, and we'll put it up there for now. Okay, we're coming to our zipper spot, so we want to go back and forth a couple times over that. Sometimes it's a little hard. We're coming to our end. Turn our work. And just kind of, sometimes our string gets stuck there. next corner. Clip off. This one I'm just going to slide down. Now we can remove. Back stitch. Turn it. Just remove one clip. Grab our back stitch. Take a clip off. Now this clip we want to just kind of slide it down. Well, it's not going to go back on right, so we'll just let's lift up and straighten out a hair. Back over a little bit. Our zipper is having trouble on that side. Alright, let's try this. Let's remove a clip here and try to just pull our work over a little bit. Once you make your boxy corner, it's not gonna, you're not really gonna see that. You can kind of trim. And that's that. Okay, we're going to remove this side just for a moment and just kind of try to pull that in a little bit. But once we do the boxy corner, it's going to be perfectly fine. Let's just backspace. Clip. And there we have a clip string over here. Starting to look very nice. Now what we need to do is grab our corners and fold them over like this. You can clip them or pin them or whatever. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I just fold them over and I sew. And that's all I do. But today I think I'm going to put a clip on this side because it's just not acting right. So let's get a little clip like right here in the middle. And then I'll just start to sew. Once I get my little locked in stitch on there. I get it on there and then just kind of hold it in my hand now. Okay, sewing machine is just trimming too much, not trimming enough thread. Okay, just kind of trim a little bit more off of here, a little bit off of here. Trim our boxy edges too. Sometimes the string just, when you just go around the corner, it carries it. Okay. Let's get all our threads out. We can clean that up later. Now let's do our next boxy corner. And this is where you want to make sure that they're both sides are laying the same so that your fold over goes right and it's not messed up when you are finished. This one's a little better than that side, so I can just hold it. Just kind of go like that. Back stitch a couple times. Back and forth. Gotta kind of trim. I'll have to make sure that needle's out enough and fix that later. Trim off a couple of little edges. But you're not going to see a lot of that because it'll be on the inside. And then you can trim these off too if you like and make them more even. But it's okay too. It'll be just fine. Trim some of this. All right, now we're going to do our other side. And we also want to make sure that it folds over the same. Let's see, that one's going this way. So we want to make sure that this one goes that way and this one goes that way. Let's pull that out. And there's all our strings that are still hanging. We can clip a lot of them later, but they're on the inside. You're never going to see it. And again, I forgot to use that little loopy handle, but that's okay. We don't need a loopy handle on this one. It's quite all right, because I don't do a lot of loopy handles on my bags anyways. I had the extra loopy handle I could have used if I wanted to, but I didn't use, and that's okay, because I don't really need to. It's going to be a cute little pouch. Anyways. Let's fold our last corner in. That goes this way. This one goes this way. And now we will sew the last of this like that. Might need a clip in here. Let's just sew this together. And now that that's holding on, we can kind of move this side around just a hair, just to kind of even it up a bit. Fold that one like that. All right, let's sew. Stitch a couple times, finish off, trim, and this part, I'm going to go over this side just a little bit because I see that I missed a spot. Which is not a bad deal. Just have to go over it like this. just kind of pulls that one in a little bit better. All right, now we are ready for flipping our pouch inside out. Let's grab our little opening, and as we turn it, and just kind of pull it through. I try not to leave the openings real big. If I can help it, I make them as small as I can without them being too small. And sometimes you just gotta pull through. There we have that. Pull our button in. Sometimes it gets a little hard to get through there when you got a button on it. Sometimes I get my poker out, which is my biggest DeWalt screwdriver, but I'm not pulling that out today. Unzip our zipper. Just kind of push it all through. Sometimes it takes a minute to really push that through. And then we just kind of got to push through on our other end. And there we have that. All right, now all we have to do, folks, is flip that over like that and sew our little seam closed, which it automatically kind of folds over anyways, which is really nice. And we just need it right on the very edge. Back stitch a couple times. And then you just have to follow your back stitch. Trim off all these little ends. My machine needs to be adjusted probably. And then we just push it in and we clip this little side off. Push that in. Let's go to our table. And we'll adjust and push in a little bit and check our zipper out. And there we have it, folks. Really awesome little zipper pouch. You can use it for artist stuff or makeup or pencils, pens, whatever you want to use it for. It's a really cool little zipper pouch. And there you have it, just for something left over that I never finished. And today we finished it. And thank you for watching my video, and see you on the next one.